did you end up with the Crusaders?
Yeah, so I guess the simplest way to put it was having some conversations with Les and the Reds, and there's some great young talent coming through in that 10 position in Queensland, and they did a really good job in that 2024. So I started looking at the market to see, like, I feel like I've still got some good rugby in me. I was looking back at France and Japan and the US and had some decent deals, and then this sort of just came about pretty quickly with Pens. Couple conversations, it sort of simmered a little bit, and then I was on a road trip with my brothers in an RV doing the South Island when my manager called and said, look, like, yeah, this could be happening now, like, go catch up with, so yeah, caught up with the Pens and had a good chat, and from there deal was pretty much done in 2 weeks. So yeah, sort of a bit of fate there. But yeah, like, definitely was a tough decision, but I think once I decided that I wasn't going to be staying at the Reds, once I decided like it was time for me to sort of move away from that, not only one, for me personally, to have a new challenge. Not that you can get complacent, but new experiences for me are always really important. And then when the opportunity came up to play at the Crusaders, I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, I've always wanted to play for a New Zealand Super Rugby team, just to experience what it was like. Not only like playing, but the training element. Like, you see how successful the Crusaders have been in the past, 20 years since Super Rugby came about. So that was very exciting for me, and just to mix it with the other players that are on the field, like the All Blacks that are around, and what has made this team have such winning culture.
Obviously, the chat stays between you and Pens, but was there something he said, or was it just the connection? Like, how'd you make up your mind? What was it?
I don't think it was really him convincing me. It was probably me convincing him. Like, I watch a lot of rugby, so I saw what was happening sort of in that 2024 season, and I felt like my skill set could really help in terms of just some clear detail, helping the boys sort of steer the ship a little bit, and for me it was a tasty opportunity. Like, yeah, it's something that as soon as it sort of came about, and it was actually my missus who had the first, was like, why don't you just poke that button and just see if there's something there? And because last time I reached out to New Zealand Rugby, it sort of got blocked with the Chiefs, that thing. But I can understand that as well. Like, I was playing Wallaby 10 at that stage. So that one sort of got closed off. But it was, Bridget was the actual one who said, like, poke on it, follow it up. And I did. And I'm, very grateful that I did. So, yeah.
I love that. You kind of touched on it before, but like, you could have gone, like you said, you hit France, those are all really appealing. Like, why? Is it just something that a burning desire that you've kind of had for a long time, recent years, to come to New Zealand?
Yeah, I think, again, like, I'm a man of faith, so like sometimes I can't answer why. It's a feeling thing, like a gut feeling, and then when the dots connected so quickly, it felt like almost like fate in a little way. A couple of reasons as well, like, I love my dog. Like, it'd be hard for him to come, like, go overseas anywhere else, whereas New Zealand, he was on the same flight as us. I think the other part as well was, I love the sort of style of rugby that the Crusaders have played throughout their whole career, and in New Zealand rugby. Super rugby is a very fast game. It's attack orientated. For me, it's my favourite style of rugby. It's really favouring like evasion and, I guess, game management over just territory and pressure. And I felt like I had another swing left in me, and I didn't want to die wondering. So when the opportunity came and the pathway almost got opened, it was like, the energy just took over.
You kind of touched on it, but I guess all through your career, the Crusaders have been very successful. Yeah. What was your perception of them over the years?
Clinical, innovative, and I just knew, like, every other team I've been in, you have to play your best game to beat them. That it was just rain, hail or shine. The Crusaders turn up. They have a certain, not just a brand of rugby, but they have a style of rugby that they play, and it looks fun, Like, I've never been torn apart so bad as I did with that 2021 Reds team when we played the Crusaders at Suncorp, and they just taught us a lesson. And I remember in that game being like, wow, like they've hit a different level of footy that was, I was on the field playing against them, and it was exciting to watch, which sounds terrible. But at the same time, I was just like their pod shapes were so connected, like their pivot runners, like the way they were spreading the ball, they could move it from every part of the field and on any particular phase, how they mixed the game up. I thought it was, masterclass. So, and that's just one time I've played them,
That's amazing. And then, so like you said, going in, you get to see that firsthand and get a taste of a winning culture. Has the environment kind of lived up to your expectations?
I think from the moment we landed here, like we were picked up at the airport, grabbed my dog, came straight here. The house was turnkey. Like there was a gift bag. Quinn came over with a bowl of wine. Like it was just so like you could feel the care was there. Even a lot of their partners and girlfriends reached out to my wife. So I'd spoken to a lot of the guys, even conversations I'd had with Jimmy Marshall about like attack shapes and what we're looking for. And then 2 days later, he's over here and we're chatting footy for about 3-4 hours and going deep down the rabbit hole. So it's definitely lived up to expectation. And even like when I first got here as well, like I did find it quite not difficult to transition, but the speed of play and the ball in that preseason was so quick. I was like wow, this is it's interesting. So it's been really good for me as well because I've grown and I've learned new ways of playing the game and just different pivot points where I can, I guess, move the ball and I guess see different pictures in attack.
Have you had? I think I noticed it today at training. Like Izzy Dag there, like they seem to have like some of the old boys about. Like, was that an anomaly, or have you noticed a culture of? Yeah,
lots of the old players have come through. Even Casey Lalala was in the other day. Tim Bateman. We were having a good little chat because we almost played our first games against each other. With Crotts was the other centre as well. So like interesting times. But like you can definitely feel like the doors are open. And that's what I found is pretty cool as well. Like even a lot of preseason, like we were training on at Hagley Park, the backfield there, and like open for people to come and watch. And there's so many little, I guess, community events that the Crusaders are putting on where it's like the doors open, like you can watch what we're doing, but you still got to be able to manage it and do it, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And then what about what do you do with your jerseys? Like, is that debut jersey, is that special to you? Is that you give it to your folks? Do you have them on wall at home? Like,
I've got some of my first two, like my first debut Wallabies jersey. That one's on the wall at home. I've got my first 15 jersey. I have collected all my jerseys. They're in a safe place, dry with everything like nicely. And I give some away as well, like for charities and to friends and family, and they're nice little gifts as well. But I don't actually have my Crusaders debut jersey yet. But I'm sure I'll be giving it at the end of season. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Awesome. Now let's get stuck in the weeds on the 10.
Yeah.
So we asked this question to Riv and Taha and Whitey. We challenged them to basically come up with what is the job description of a 10?
Yeah.
To you?
Well, it's definitely changed over the years, put it that way. But I think the more I've learned about the position of 10, the more I've learned that it's just serving the team. So you've got to read the energy of your teammates. So put the ball in the right areas of the field. Make sure you're like keeping the energy of the forward pack so they got enough sting to do what they need to do. They need to be physical and they need to make collisions. So I've got to make sure that they're at their best capacity to be able to do that well. And then it's just like almost just maneuvering and I guess like conducting a little bit, conducting around the field. And putting the guys in the right parts, and then knowing when to take your shot individually. So you can't just be shifting, you can't just be giving. Otherwise, eventually teams will read that. So balancing your game up well. But I would say the biggest thing I would say is you've got to be the manager of everyone's energy on the field. So your most potent attacking weapons can do what they do best.
I like that. We haven't gone into that, eh? Being the energy too. You touched on it. I don't want to force it or get too in depth on it, but I think we kind of have this vision with some B-roll of like conducting, because I think I heard on a podcast you mentioned that analogy, and Brad today talked about it, and I do like it. It does seem like it fits, but is there any way to go a little more in depth on?
Like
on a
conductor of
So I've had this conversation with Brad, so it's interesting. So it's like I see myself as like 10s are creators as well, so we need to be able to take the ball to the line. We need to be able to make decisions in split moments, like who's the best option to hit. Is it better to alleviate pressure and put a kick in? Is it better to play wide and keep playing on top of them? Do we push the forwards and hold the ball for 10 plus phases? So that's the decision comes in where it's you're creating or you're conducting. The conducting element for me is like, we know the game the best in terms of the pod system, in terms of not so much the starter plays, but we know, I guess, the ins and outs of like what part of the field you want to get to play this move, or if we only get here and we see this picture, we do this. So it's almost like we're moving the conductor, you know, like moving the ball around. I guess that's the analogy of where the conductor came from. And when you do it well, it feels great. But sometimes if you try to create yourself too much, the boys can't keep rhythm with you, then you lose it. So it's about that, still having creation, but at the same time, you're managing that energy of the team.
That's awesome. And this one might be, I'll ask this, I don't quite know. It might be tricky, but like, can you take us inside your head during the game? Because like, how are you like managing flow, tempo, balancing, getting people involved? Like,
yeah. So, it makes sense. So for me, we have like a strategic plan that we've seen the footage, like mentally we've come up with our plays. I've visualized it, we've seen it. We've been given it from the coaches. We've tweaked it as like your ball playing group and your other leaders in the group. And we're like, this is the plan that we want to go with for the week. And then once I've seen the plan, we've run the plan. After like probably Thursday session, not that I throw it out, I know what I can go to on each starter play part of the field, each scrum, if it's here. But when you're in the moment of the actual playing, it's all or feel for me. So it's like I've practiced it enough that almost like I don't have to think. It's not even like I'm seeing a picture. I'm just feeling a winger get high to do this, or I'm feeling the fullback go across to open that corner up. But I've practiced it over and over and over, practiced these pictures of what I should see. So I know in the front of my mind, like, if I do this, come around the corner, this guy should do this and that guy will do that. Therefore, this would be the main option. But if they give me a different picture, it's just purely playing off that instinct on top. And then sometimes you can get like, you plan on top, where that's where the management comes in, where it's like, okay, right now, like, we're tinkering on offloading a little bit too much, or we're playing very flat. It's like, is it better to put a kick on the front foot, or is it better to just settle it down, the momentum a little bit, or what's the best move? And that for me, again, isn't really a thought. It's like, I'll just feel when to do it. And I think one of my old coaches, one of the best things he says is always go with your first instinct. Don't second guess that.
That's awesome. It's so crazy to think. Like, that's why I think the position's so interesting, because that, like, it's like you also make the decision.
Yes, like that's sometimes winning and losing. Like you second guess you fish someone out and second guess on a pass, and you're like, oh, you missed the opportunity, or you throw it a little bit too late, someone gets bumped off the ball. It's like the moments is split decisions that you need to be able to pull the trigger on, or you're sitting back a little bit too much and you can see it opening up, and you're like, oh no, I should kick here. Oh, man, I missed that opportunity. It's a fine balance.
and that's so interesting you say that too, because when we asked all the other boys, we'll get to it, but like kind of describe what was unique about each person positionally. And Rivers called out, he said your feel for the game, and actually Brad said the same thing, is what they said was really unique about you, special, and just something they were learning from, and like, you just spoke to it. But is that like, I guess, when did you recognize that, like that was a strength, or when did you appreciate it or even understand it?
I've definitely had to hone it. Like, my feel for the game was always there, but it used to be when I was growing up, beat someone one-on-one, could feel like a simple decision, or I could use my foot speed or different elements of my game to not get me out of trouble, but to manipulate. Now I've grown my game. Like I said to you before, I didn't learn the game of rugby till I was like 29, 30. And I started playing professionally at 17, thinking that I knew the game, thinking at 21, 23, like I'd almost not mastered it, but like I was like, where can I get better at? But it wasn't until it wasn't even really a choice of me moving into 10. I dabbled with 10 and been like, oh no, I don't like, I like to play a little bit more individual. I want to be able to just play off flow, play off that. But really that was just an excuse, because to be at 10, you have to master it. You have to really be on top of your game. You have to watch game review. You have to practice. Like, there's so much more work that goes into sort of that position. Not saying it's the greatest position. Like, it's the one that I've like always. It's the elusive one that I've always wanted and chased, and then flirted with, and we'll leave it a go. It's and then come back to it and whatnot. But interesting.
You kind of just touched on it there, and I think Taha said it yesterday, and I wondered if it was from your influence, but he talked about one of his big learnings this year was being ruthless with prep, like how
Yeah.
much goes into, like I was talking about just being a game driver, and he was saying like to him, the game driver is like mostly 90% is Monday to Friday, like you have to
Yeah.
put so much work in. Is that I guess, do you share those sentiments?
Yeah, well, that's the difference. Is it's the selfless part. Like when I'm playing center or when I was playing wing or fullback, I could just turn up, train, and then switch off. But when you're at 10, you're at the big boys table now. So you're with the rest of the leaders, even if you are 21 or 23 or whatever. So it's like you're in charge of managing this game. So you need to know the ins and outs better than anyone else. Not everyone, like everyone's got their own area that they'll know more than you at in terms of like line outs or little tweaks in different areas. But you have to be on top of every part of the game. So you're in every meeting, you're in every strat meeting, you're doing review, you're doing preview, like you're engaged. You can't afford to just zone out in one of those meetings, because if you miss something, then you miss a call, and that could be a game. So you do have to put a lot more work into it, because again, like you got to be able to serve your best potent attacking weapons out wide, and if you don't get the ball to them, I feel like when we win, like this is interesting. Like when we win, it's like the pack's done really well, our outside backs have done well, but really we've given them the ball in good parts. When we lose, a lot of the time it is because the 10s haven't managed the game well. It's not just on the 10. Like obviously the 9s are important in that. So your other key, maybe your 12 or your 15. But a lot of the time we're in that position to make sure we don't overplay, to manage the game, manage the forwards' energy. And again, it's 15 of us, 23 of us. But I do feel like when I watch back, probably because I play 10, but when I watch a lot of games back, I'm like, oh, if he just did this in this moment, that would have changed it. If they just did this one little thing, that whole energy would have shifted, pressure cycles. So
It's so good. So interesting. Oh, here you go. All right, little pivot. Let's talk about this current group. Everyone's been, like the boys are Brad too, like raving about you guys, your 10s, the four of you, like how well you're getting on, connecting. And how are you feeling about it? How do you feel about your pod?
Yeah, I feel great about it. We're all we play very differently. We've got like a unique group, I'll put it that way. But at the same time, like we're all like just engaged. Like after every session, we'll do kicking together, we do skill together. Everyone's always up for sort of something. I think the great feeling I've had sort of coming in is the guys really want to learn different elements of their game. So one of them might be very good at one area, but wants to learn, or will ask little questions like, oh, what did you see there? Or, oh, what's happening with this? Or why'd you do that play? So like, I love sharing that knowledge, because I had that done for me. Like knowledge was shared from some great players, and that's how I put my sort of imprint and how I see the game together. But it is cool, like challenging. We're all good at different things, but helping each other to work on the areas that we're not as great at.
On the three guys, can we start with Taha? Can you just describe him as a rugby player?
Yeah, so Taha's flowy. Like I've said it before, like he's very naturally gifted. He makes good decisions. He's got great foot speed, good footwork, great pass, good kick. He's a very natural sort of player of the game. The one area, like for him to take his game to the next level, is that prep stuff. He's got to understand like how to break the week up, which is he's very open to doing. He's got to understand like the whole element of, because he is such a good runner of the ball, when to just shift it early, when to put a kick in, when to feel that sort of pressure gauge. But he's a player who plays off a lot of feel. Yeah.
Awesome. And then Rivers
is like, he's a smart dude. Big body, strong, fast, good in the air. Again, they're very sort of different players. How I watch sort of Rivers do it, he's very analytical. Like, so how he sets things up, how he makes teams overfold. Like, he's got really good skill in terms of like his catch and pass always hits the mark. Like, he'll take corners really well. And he loves, like, he's a big dude. He likes to carry, likes to get stuck in.
I like that. And then lastly, Jimmy White.
And Whitey, I hadn't seen too much of Whitey because of preseason. He was sort of on and off and a little bit injured. But the first game I saw him play, I was like, geez, is that Whitey? Like, I didn't even know he was a 10 at the first stage, like, because he gassed me in preseason on the outside. I thought he was a 15. But again, like, he's just got quite a natural feel of the game. The way he kicks the ball is really clean. If you've ever seen him goal kick or kick to touch, the way he comes around the corner. But I think the best thing about Whitey is he's very calm. Like even when he's calling, like you can hear his voice, it's clear, but he's very calm around the field, and he's got that ability to take you on that outside. He's got speed, and he is a solid dude as well. So he's got, I can see huge potential in him.
Another kind of little theme to touch on is the boys have all raved about just learning how you share your experience. Because I think Taha said something real interesting. It'd be good to get, I don't know if it's a conscious decision from you, but like it'd be, I think, easy for you to like just tell them not what to do, but he kind of spoke about how you challenge them as a way of sharing your experience, and that was just, Taha said he found that he learned way more that way. Does that make any sense to you? Like, are you conscious of how you're sharing your experience or your wisdom with the group?
I guess like it's not like that I think about it. I'm quite an open book. Like I've come here for a reason as well. Like I really like these guys, so it makes it so much easier to want to share your knowledge in areas that I feel like they can work on, because they all have such huge potential. Like they're all, like I can see the power in them. Even from the first moment I said hello to them, I looked them in the eyes and I could feel like there was energy about them. Like they're powerful young men, and like it's their time to stand up and make their, like, you know, the team. It's their team. Like I'm here doing a job and I'm a part of it. I love it, but this is their team, and they're coming into their own. So like what I'm sharing with them is just the little connection pieces of like how to get from A to B, or if you're under pressure here to do this or to do that. So I think that what he's talking about with the challenging stuff is like, I'll never tell them like don't do this, because they see the game differently to me. And like I know when someone would tell me that, I'd be like, shut up, man. Like, but at the same time, I'm like, why did you do this? And they'll know as well. Like, I'm not attacking them. I'm like, well, what did you see to make this decision here? And they'll be like, oh, I saw this. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Like, you're at least making a decision based off, you know, what you've seen. There's method to it. Whereas sometimes I'll be like, oh, no, I don't know what I did there. I'm like, well, have you thought about doing this? Or if you get stuck in this spot, maybe this is a better outlet. And then they'll all go back and do review and watch stuff. And then sometimes as well, they'll challenge me and like, oh, felt like this or whatnot. But I think the biggest part of it is like, we just have open dialogue and we're all just playing. Like, when I'm having fun and I'm playing and you know, when you know that the team cares and everyone's sort of got your best interests, it's easy to take on information and then pass and share it too.
Yeah, Taha actually shared that sentiment. He said what he kind of loved is he was like, he knows that you wanted the team jersey this week, but there's still like so much, like I said, I guess, fun, joy, but learning, sharing, you're all helping each other. And like I think Brad kind of mentioned it too, like, because that's one thing I was kind of curious about is like, do you have to balance mentoring and competing? And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but then Brad kind of said like it must fuel you too.
Yeah, well, I said it like even yesterday when we were out doing the kicking. For me, like when I'm teaching, I'm learning as well. And I've said that to the boys. Sometimes if I'm over talking, I'm talking to myself too here. Like it's not just to you. So I'm giving myself, like reminding myself on different techniques and different follow throughs and different pictures, and you know, stuff like that. But it's not like, I don't feel like I'm competing with them. Like the coaches will pick the team, and like all I can do is be the best version of myself, and then the rest will look after itself. Like again, I told you, like I've got faith that things just happen for a reason. But the first conversation I had with Taha and Rivers was like, boys, like I'm here, like I want that jersey, but at the same time I want you boys to, like, I've seen, like I've felt their power, I've seen what they can do, so I want them to grow to the best players they can be, because I truly believe they could be some of the best 10s going round. And I think, you know, when you just put that out there as well, it creates that little bit of rivalry as well, and edge. So if someone tries to like slack off at training, like there's 2 more of us going for that jersey, 3 more of us going for that spot. So it keeps us on our toes. And I think as well, like I thrive under competition, and what I've seen from the others as well, like when we've got those blue versus black jerseys, you guys probably saw it today, like we're going hard at each other. It's a good game. Like there's chat being thrown. Like it's, if we're doing that at training, then in a game it's going to be almost a step lower than that. So I think it's great.
That's a good point. Yeah, I saw a little bit of niggle between 2 locks, and I was like, there you go.
That's what you want to see from your engine room.
Do you have an appreciation for that journey of fulfilling your potential?
100%. Well, I went on a path that was destructive. So like, that's what I said to them. I've been way further this way than you guys could get to and come back from. So like, I can see when like little things are happening and what, like, you know, like when you can feel that's just a little bit off and they're not making the main thing, I guess. Luckily with those three, they're all they're pretty sharp and they want it. Like footy's number one for them. They want it badly. But yeah, again, like what I'm sharing is just like life lessons that I've learned, and whether they want to take them on or not, like that, like it doesn't affect me either which way. Like if I feel like the conversation's reciprocal and we're getting somewhere, cool. But if it's not there, it's not there. Like I'm not trying to push anything on anyone. I'm just being me, and like I'm very aware. I'm 34. Like I'm in a different stage of my career to them. You know, they're early 20s. Like they're coming into their prime. Like you can see it like on the training field. Like there's things that they can do that I can't do anymore, and it hurts. But that doesn't hurt. But actually, probably does hurt. But like at the same time, like yeah, I've got like. There's certain things I want in my life and places I'm going and what I'm playing with. But I think I've said it before, like I'm really in a place where I just want life to surprise me. Like however that looks, wherever my journey goes, like just being content, enjoying my footy and teaching guys like this and playing with them and learning from them as well, because they see the game differently. Like I'm always open to new plays, and I love like new adaptations to old moves and new forms of manipulation, even like when we do some of our footwork drills and stuff like that. I love getting involved in that stuff.
Last thing to wrap up the kind of mentoring side, Taha said, again, another thing I really, really appreciates from you is, and something that he's added this year, is reviewing the game on a Sunday. He talked about before he would kind of just come in on a Monday morning and like sit in the coach's review and kind of like take some notes. But
Yeah.
he said he loves getting your messages on a Sunday. I think he said Sunday night. Can you maybe just talk about what is your process for reviewing a game?
Well, I don't sleep like well after a game until I've broken it apart. So I'll finish the game, relax. Like there's different times, but usually I'll finish the game, come home and chill out, and then I'll review that. I'll watch that game straight away. I already know in the back of my mind like the clunky parts where I feel like we could have done things differently, sticking points, just what didn't work as well and what worked well and where we can improve on. So I'll put that all down there, but then I'll go through the game and just sort of break it apart straight away. More so for me to just get that off my chest, so it's done. Like obviously we'll do a review and stuff for the coaches, but I've already seen what I've sent. I've already put it out there, and there's a couple of us in the group chat that I'll send it to. It's an open note, so then they can add onto it what they felt, what they've seen, and then we're already building like that momentum. And as well, it gives them an insight into how I'm seeing the game, what I'm feeling from it, and me an insight into like how they're seeing it. Did they feel something different from this moment, or do they reckon, no, we need to move more towards this or that? But yeah, I'll get that out there pretty early.
I love that. All right, last little bit. What do you want out of footy? Like even if it goes short term, like of course you have goals, but like what are your goals for this year?
Well, again, I don't make goals the same as I used to. Like before it was like, I want to win this, or I want to make this team, or I want to do this. Again, it's sort of like more like I'll feel again. Like I want to feel like I've given my best, and not only for my team, but for myself as well. So that starts on the training field as well, making sure like I'm disciplined and sticking to like my patterns. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So then what I put out there on Saturday or Sunday or Friday night or whenever it is, like, is reciprocal to sort of the energy that I put in. Like rugby is still a huge part of my life, but it isn't my only part of my life anymore, which is what's helped me create more of a balance in my sort of everyday life. But in terms of what I want from it, like I don't want anything from it. I'm just playing with it, like almost like it's a fun, just seeing where it's sort of taking me. Obviously, man, I'd love to win a title. I'd love to be involved in that. There's things that I would love to get my hands on, love to be a part of this, love to be a part of a Lion Series, love to be a part of that. But it's not why I play anymore. I'm not like, if I don't get this, it's been a failure. That's not the way I see the game anymore. Like, for me, it's just the everyday. And I think a big part of it that makes me so happy is I get to share now this as well. So it's not just about me. It's not just about me performing. As much as I'd love to play 10, like, could I play 10 every game? Probably not. I think that's the cool thing about this is, like, no matter what comes, I win anyway, because I'm content with with just being a squad player or doing this or whatever the team needs me to do or is calling upon me, like that's a win for me.
Yeah, I love that. That's just must be like freeing. Like just
but that's the thing. It's very freeing when you don't have to be something, or you don't have to force something to get something, or you don't have to try too hard. It's like, hey, I'm still practicing this. I haven't mastered that energy at all. But like when you can just like let go and be like, I know I'm putting the work in. I'm having fun with this. Like I'm playing. We're playing good footy. I'm teaching. I'm playing. I'm learning. Like when it's that sort of feeling, it is so freeing because there is no sort of outcome that you've got to get to. The outcome's like right here in the moment. Like right here, sitting here. Like this is all I've got to do now. When I finish this, what's next? Okay, you move on.
Yeah. Kind of touched on it a little bit there, but I think it's also the word like longevity is so interesting because it's like I think in like life people are getting obsessed and interested in longevity, but then I look at like sports and you get Tom Brady and like Tiger Woods and like Serena went late, and then even like Johnny Sexton like running the cutter at 38 years old at like world class test level. Like do you ever think about like, I don't quite know how to word this, but like it's not like in the past I feel like people would be like asking you questions like, this is kind of the end and stuff, but it's not now. Like you just keep going.
Yeah, well, it's like I definitely, oh man, well, that's the thing. I feel fast, I feel quick again. I'm very specific on how I manage like my day and making sure like for me a big thing is like less is more. Like I'm not ever going to sort of overdo myself, so then I have to pull it back. But you've probably seen like when you came over, I was doing my game ready, icing my ankle. I've got my sauna mat there. Like I'll have a stretch when you guys leave. I'm getting treatment after this as well at 5:30. So like I stay on top of like making sure my body, like this is my craft. Like I got to look after it, making sure it's in the best possible position for me to perform. But again, like I don't see this as like a job anymore. It's like I'm getting to play footy. Like I get to do gym every day. Get to move my body. Like get to play park footy, get to get my competitive energy out, so I can be more playful at home and just relaxed. So in terms of like that longevity, I do a lot of things for it in terms of how I eat, how I sleep, but it's almost like I don't even have to try to do it anymore. It's like it's a habit now. That's just how I love to live. That's what my priority is, and I really enjoy doing it. So, and I'm just happy that it's actually in alignment with longevity, the way I eat, the way I sleep, how I prepare, and stuff like that.
I've written down here. It's very open-ended, but I'm actually curious to know your answer. How does footy make you feel?
Footy?
Yeah.
Something you can see. I love that's the thing. I love rugby. Like I love more and more sort of every year. The different elements of it, the more I learn about the game, the more I realize I don't know, and the more I want to learn, and different styles and different plays and etc. Don't get me wrong, it does hurt when the thing that hurts me is when I've said I'm going to do something or I go outside of what I usually do. Like if this is the way I play and that's how I manage my energy, and I've used energy a lot and flow and stuff like that, but that's sort of how I see the game is I'm the conductor. Like I got to get our guys the ball. I got to make sure they're in the best position for us to sort of win games. And rugby's chaos, so it's not like you never know who's going to win. Like sometimes there's a bobble of the ball, 50-50s, all that. But the thing that hurts is when I haven't lived up to what I said I was going to do. That's the only time when me and rugby have a little bit of a lap. But then the best thing is there's always next week, and you can get straight on the training field. And for me, it doesn't have to be a game. It can just be training as well, where I'm expressing and then helping the guys, improve in this way, or having an imprint on the game plan and what little tweaks can we do. Oh, I've seen that these centers do this. Why don't we try this one? And, when it all marries in with the coaches and the leaders and the ball players, and like that's the nectar. That's the fun part for me.
Boom. All right, last one from me. He asked us really well to kind of Taha and Rivers and all of them too, that like it's hard because like we don't relate. Well, you do. I don't relate to being a footy player and like running out in front of people, and like it's not. Yeah, no one knows what it feels like to playing a lot, starting 3 lines. Study every game in a line series.
Forget that one.
Crazy. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
No, that was still a beautiful memory.
Crazy kicks from the corner and stuff, but I feel like is it possible like. You talk about energy, like just to kind of describe like what you feel, hear, smell like when you're running out, like Does it make sense? Like,
Yeah.
what it feels like to be a 10?
Well, it's actually funny. Like, this is my favorite part of the week. Like, we've done all the prep. I've been in my mind. I've broken it apart. I've done all the analytical work, the logical part. I've done the hard training. We've got to like this. Well, it's Friday, but this is that sort of Thursday, 2 days before the game. All the hard work's been done, so now I can let go. But even sort of during the start of the week and sort of just before this time, like I'll go through in my mind all the worst scenarios as well of what could happen on this player and that player, or what if I did this, or what if that happened, and be okay with it. You know, I go through all that stuff and then be okay with it. And then the lead up to the game is sort of like from now to then, it's playful, but it's about managing my energy. So as soon as I get to that stadium, you know, I love it, bro. Like, especially like you're playing in front of a crowd. Like, I feel like this is what I was, you know, this is what I've been building for, is what my body was made for, to do this. I've spent 20 years honing my craft. Like, so when I get out there, it's like, yeah, it's exhilarating because it's like our moment to entertain. Like, people have come out to, you know, paid money to come and watch us. So like, I want to put on one. Like, I remember saying when I was reflecting one time, I was like, what is it that I'd like to be remembered for? And I'm like, I would love people to say about me, like, no matter what, he was consistent with, like, he always went out there and gave 125%. Like, and that doesn't mean like, it doesn't just have to be physically, but for me, a lot of that is the mind game battle of the management and all that sort of stuff. But I was consistent in terms of like my skill set. I went out there and I delivered what I said I was going to do. And that's sort of the biggest thing for me. But the rest of it is just like, oh, it's awesome. Like, and I think as well, because I'm nearing that sort of end of it as well, you're like, you don't know how many more years or games or whatever you have left. So it's just soaking it in now. Like, you get to the game, you can feel the energy of the crowd. I'm sitting on the bench now at the moment, so I'm feeling, you know, hearing it all, getting some good chat thrown at me. The other game against the Chiefs was, it's funny up that south end of the stand. Jeez. But yeah, it's a happy place for me. There is still moments, obviously, where the pressure comes and I'm like, I need to be synced in here. But the majority of it is a place where I'm like, I want to meet it. Like, whether it's physically, whether it's chopping biggest dude on the field, whether it's I'm about to get whacked, like, I'm going to meet it, and then whatever happens, happens.
So good.
Bro, can you tell me, like, I'm interested in this, and I reckon other people will be too. Like, because you speak a lot about energy and flow, obviously, like, you've got a real, like, spiritual element to you. Can you tell me, like, when you started to feel that way, like, in your life? Was there a time in your life where you started to feel a bit more, like, spiritual, and how that sort of impacted your life now? Explain to me why you are that way.
So my background, my dad was a minister, a pastor. So I had faith from a young age. But I think, like, as we were touching on before, like, I took a different path. Like, I made it very young, got to 21, I'd been given everything. Anything I wanted, almost like I could get. But then that turns to almost like you're chasing pleasure, you're chasing the wrong things. And then eventually it spirals and you go deeper and deeper into the illusion of what's not really real. And then you have a big hole inside you. And, you know, I hit rock bottom probably 3 or 4 times, more than most people would. So the spiritual element for me was like, it's sort of just coming back to a place of like who I am at my core, like what my values are, what I believe in, higher purpose, all sort of, like all things like that sort of really drive, I guess, like, it's hard to explain, like, my belief systems and how I see the world, like, in a conversation like this. But I think, that spiritual element does play a big part of it. I think, truly, like the bounce of a ball, who's controlling that? You know, like, sometimes things happen, like I'll throw a pass and, geez, that should not have gone to hand, but it's a winning try, and I'm like, I didn't do that. Like, you know, those sort of things. And it sounds weird, but that's sort of where that sort of faith element came in. Was I was at rock bottom and had to rebuild myself from sort of scratch. I had a lot of help from other people to sort of to get me back, but part of my motivation of coming back and playing in Australia again and playing back in the World Cup was to show that you can go all the way there and come back if you're true to yourself, and also you put yourself out there.
Awesome.
So good. That's us.
Sweet, bro.
Boom. Thanks, man.
Easy.
That was unreal. Let's just do that forever, eh?
Yeah, 100%, bro.